Hi there, Sagittarius. Thank you for joining me for your monthly forecast for July, which begins with the Sun in the part of your scope to do with ends, but also beginnings. An area which is quite mysterious and deep and passionate and not necessarily very obvious. And the Sun tangles with Pluto in week 1, which is in your sector of everyday finances. So in a more prosaic way, marshalling your resources or discussing loans, paying down debt, could be a key conversation you're going to have in the early parts of this month. But if your willpower is too strong, you may be resisted by someone who has more control over the situation, or the same can be true in reverse. So you need to prepare for the politics of this. Equally, the Sun's going to be clashing with Uranus from the 5th through to the 11th. Uranus is in the joyous part of your scope in some ways, but it's probably made you tremendously restless in recent times. And this clash suggests that there could be some jealousy that comes up in a close relationship, particularly if you're someone who wants to really maintain a certain amount of free personal time, which is often very important for Sagittarius people. And with Mercury and Venus also in your sector of relating, you do have an added asset to try to negotiate things in a diplomatic way. But this requires you to listen as well as to send your message. And in fact, with Venus and Mars, they're actually broadly in a wonderful alliance for the first couple of weeks of this month, and that can do wonders for your love life. And if you are looking for a new relationship, it could be a group of friends that you already know, or an introduction by a friend of a friend, which soon sets your pulse racing. Now on the 13th, there is a full moon, which is asking you again to check and balance your in and outgoings, but also to be conscious of your values. Then on the same day, Mercury relocates into this deep, passionate part of your scope the Sun's in. And here, Mercury is asking you not necessarily to be mindful of just what people are saying to you, but what they really mean. Now on the 16th, a really wonderful event occurs, and particularly for you, I feel, because your ruling planet is Jupiter. It gives you that neat, innate optimism, that sense that things will always work out well for you, even when you can really be up against it. Of course, you may have gone through periods when life was very much perfect, but this change, which occurs on the 16th and lasts for a year, can give you a real bounce back ability. So if you have gone through some challenges over the last year, this is your opportunity to engage with travel, new knowledge, international people and opportunities in a way which can really excite you. So it's something to embrace. And of course, being independent and adventurous is just up your chandelier. Now Venus also moves on the 18th into this same sector, but Venus is of course the planet of love and affection. It's in a very diplomatic part of your scope until then. Once it moves into Cancer, passions become much more stirred. Now this can be a very good thing if it makes you more conscious of who's really important to you or who you really fancy, but it also could see you benefit from someone else's largesse if they've been successful in business, and they may pass on their good fortune to you. You could also gain from some kind of legacy in the latter half of this month or the first part of August. On the 20th, well, Saturn, which has been twisting backwards for 5.5 months, in a really tricky part of your horoscope, starts to go forwards. If you've encountered a lot of self-doubt during that time, or felt a little bit paranoid at times, uncharacteristically so, or made more of situations where you felt that people were against you, this is asking you to revise your opinion. And then the Sun moves on the 22nd, and that's also moves into the same sector as Jupiter. It's going to really give you a much more exciting impulse to explore, to be free, to be more energized, and to be more candid too. But then on the 25th, I beg your pardon, there is a wonderful new moon in this area. So if you have been saving up for a vacation or looking forward to having a change of scene, try and make it happen before the end of this month. Even if you just plan something, it's really going to help you to have that to look forward to. But on the 26th, Mars moves out of the part of your horoscope that's to do with friendship and into the most psychological area. And I have to tell you, this can be tricky, but I think initially, if you have been feeling at times low on energy and a little bit self-doubting, it's going to reinforce you. In fact, the combination of energies at the end of this month can really lead to a big uplift in your mood. But there is just one thing I need to tell you about. You could encounter someone that you really, really like and fancy in a fantastically strong way as this month comes to a close. I hope it's the real deal, but just be conscious that there could be someone who comes into your orbit, but their agenda may be very different to yours. That may not make their agenda wrong, but it could be about money or sex. But if you don't have the same kind of view of this relationship, it could have disastrous consequences. So just be careful about what you wish for. But generally, the trends are very much more optimistic as this month comes to a close. Thank you for joining me. Good luck and goodbye for now.